So I'd like to start by expressing my special respect to all the senior and junior monks who are listening today. Some are joining in person here at Wat Dhammakaya, California, and others may be following this broadcast via the live stream from the YouTube or from Zoom today. My name is Phra Nicholas Thanissaro. I've been asked by the monastic community here at Wat Dhammakaya in California to give the funeral homily in order to create merit for the late Master Hsing Yun, who we are all mourning, and in order that merits will arise for him according to the tradition of Thai Buddhists, which we have asked permission to organize today. The Buddha was once asked, how many different sorts of light are there in the world? Because the person who asked the question believed that the sun only gave light during the day and the moon only gave light during the night. And when the Buddha answered this question, he said, in fact, both the sun and the moon are not in this world. But the sources of light in this world come from somewhere completely different. And he said it comes from the attainments in meditation, it comes from the joy of attainment in purifying the mind, it comes from faith inside people's hearts, it comes from the teaching of the Buddha. And last but not least, he said that light comes from the Buddha himself, or by extension from those who have the Buddha in their hearts, or those who follow the Bodhisattva path. When we are familiar with the name of Buddha Light International Association, we think about spreading of the Buddha's light throughout the world. And this is a familiar metaphor for all that our great Master Hsing Yun has managed to create and perpetuate throughout his life as a great teaching monk, and which I very much hope will continue long after his passing. Our temple, both the main temple in Thailand and the branches around the world, have had a strong friendship with the organization of Kuang, also with the Buddha's Light International Organization, now for almost 30 years. In fact, over 30 years. The first time our organization got to learn about Kuang as an organization went back to 1992, when our delegates joined the World Fellowship of Buddhists Conference in Kuang Temple in Kaohsiung, in Taiwan. Later, as a result of getting to know Master Hsing Yun better, he very generously agreed to join our Maka Puja ceremony in Wat Dhammakaya in Thailand in 1993. And later on we met again, this time in America, when there was the second meeting of the World Fellowship of Buddhists, this time in Los Angeles. And at that point, Master Hsing Yun told us about his plan for spreading Buddhism throughout the world. And he said he had 10 different parts to his wish for Buddhism spreading throughout the world. Firstly, he said that he hoped to disseminate Buddhism in a humanistic aspect, where teaching should be taught according to the students' levels, using multiple methods and media, through cultural events, education, and social services. Secondly, he talked about the finance of Buddhism. He said every organization needs adequate financial resources to operate properly, and Buddhist organizations are no exception to the rule. Thirdly, he talked about social welfare. He said that Buddhists should serve the community at large through social welfare programs. Fourthly, he said that monks ought to keep the precepts strictly. The fundamental precepts should be observed by Buddhist monks, regardless of their denomination. Fifthly, he talked about women's issues and equality. And he said that talented women should be given equal opportunity to contribute to Buddhism. Sixthly, he talked about politics. He said the monks ought to be well informed about the political situation, but they should leave it to lay people to become personally involved with politics. Seventh, he talked about human rights and animal rights. He said that those should be protected. Eighth, he talked about environmentalism, and the Buddhists should help to protect the environment. Ninth, he talked about communication. He said the Buddhists around the world should respect and learn from one another to strengthen their solidarity. And last but not least, he talked about the future. He said that Buddhists must keep up with the times and emphasize on education that can help in this respect. Later on in 1993, this is in July, when Venerable Tathachio visited again to the United States, Venerable Master Hsing Yun very generously sold the temple in Maywood to our organization, who at that time was based at a rented house in Cerritos. Because we were a new organization in the United States, we didn't have the financial credit to get our own mortgage. So he said, well, I will be the banker for you, and he will basically finance us as we pay off the new temple. And as you know, Maywood was a very successful first place to gather together the Thai community in Los Angeles, to the point that in the end it was also too small for our organization. Just as Maywood became too small for the Silai Temple congregation, also Maywood became too small for the Thai congregation, and we have passed that along now and become established in Azusa instead, in a place where, when Master Hsing Yun visited many years later, he said that he approved very much of us having got a good deal here at Azusa as a place to spread the Dharma and expand the Dharma in the future. Later on, and you notice that Master Hsing Yun, he helped us a lot, even before it became official, because that is the nature of this great master, in order to help others and to be broad-minded about the different denominations of Buddhism, to help all others not to see other sorts of Buddhism as his competition. So later on, there was a signing of an agreement of sister templehood, or like a twin temples, which happened later in 1993. And in fact, this signing took place twice. It was signed for the first time in Taiwan in October of 1993, in front of an audience of 15,000 people at Taipei National Indoor Stadium, when the Venerable Tathachio traveled there to sign on behalf of the organization. Later, on Makapuja Day in 1994, the Venerable Master Hsing Yun traveled again to Wat Dhammakaya in Thailand, and there was a signing again, this time in front of 30,000 people. And after the signing the ceremony, the Venerable Master Hsing Yun very generously agreed to also be present for the ceremony for the casting of gold for the first image of the great abbot of Wat Pak Nam to be cast in our temple as well. So he has a very strong friendship, a strong Dhamma friendship, you could say, between our two organizations. At the time of the signing, Master Hsing Yun memorably said that the signing of the agreement between the two temples takes only a moment, but the friendship it symbolizes will last forevermore. And also our Venerable Dhammakaya said at the time of the signing that the temple twinning was very important for us, because the work of spreading Buddhism is so large that it cannot be achieved by any one person or one organization alone. Here at Wat Dhammakaya in California, I think we are probably well situated as one of the branches of the Dhammakaya Foundation, which is best able to think of the contribution which the Venerable Master Hsing Yun has made to our success in spreading Buddhism around the world. So we take on ourselves to speak for our whole organization, not just the branch here in California, but throughout the world, to thank and express our gratitude to the Venerable Master Hsing Yun personally and as a whole organization, to help us to have a foothold in starting to spread the Dharma around the world. And in the sense of the light of peace, the light of the Dharma, which is spread around the world. We very much hope that through the power of the spreading of the Dharma, which Venerable Master Hsing Yun has helped us with his passing at the age of 97 after 83 years, if I have calculated correctly in the monastic precepts, which is quite an achievement for any monk. We hope that this light will not diminish, but be continued to be spread throughout the world by those who follow on in his footsteps, certainly ourselves, and also the committees which will follow on with the leadership of the BLIA, the Kuang Shan temples after his decease. And we hope that the merits today, if the beliefs of the Kuang Shan and humanistic Buddhism allow for it, that the merits or the good energy which is generated from the chanting today of the special Abhidhamma for the offering of robes by all of our congregation here will help to protect and to project the Venerable Master Hsing Yun to the place in the Pure Land where he wishes to be. In our Theravada tradition, we don't have exactly the Pure Land. It has a word in Thai language called Den Sukhavidi. And from my understanding, it is sort of a mixture between nirvana and the place where the bodhisattvas stay before they come down to pursue perfections in a future lifetime. But in this case, we hope that the merits will lead the Venerable Master Hsing Yun to go back to the place where he deserves to be, in the fourth level of heaven, we call it, the Dusita heaven, or in the Pure Land, if that is his understanding, through the power of all the good things that we have done today. And we very much hope that we will see, continue to see a lot of the BLIA organization, especially with the International Vesak candlelighting, which we hold every year here at Dhammakaya in California. So for the part all of you have played in the organization of the memorial ceremony for the Venerable Master Hsing Yun today, the monastic community would like to rejoice in the merit of all joining today's ceremony, whether in person or online. And at this time, we would like to call down the spiritual perfections of the Triple Gem, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, of the Pajjeka Buddhas and Arahants in Nirvana, together with all the spiritual merits that Venerable Master Hsing Yun has perfected and completed and succeeded in, as well as exemplifying throughout his life as an exemplary monk. May these spiritual perfections come together with the merits of generosity from offering of the picked up robes, from listening to the Abhidhamma chanting, from the offering of the requisites to the monastic community, together with the taking of the 5 precepts today, coming together as a bright, clear sphere of merit at the center of each one of us that will help to protect us from all manner of misfortune, danger, suffering, and sickness in life. At the same time, may these merits act as a magnet to attract into our lives all manner of good things, whether it be long life, health, success, happiness, fulfillment, good complexion, or quick-wittedness. For those of you who would like to dedicate merit for loved ones of yours, especially the Venerable Master Hsing Yun on this occasion, may those merits reach those loved ones of ours wherever they have been reborn, to help to ensure for them that they enjoy happiness, radiance, and ever-increasing refinement in their new life. At this time, the monks are about to give their blessing in the Pali language. For those of you who have prepared water for pouring in dedication to those loved ones, especially the Venerable Master Hsing Yun, you can pour that water during the first part of the blessing. Otherwise, put your hands together in a gesture of prayer. Make your own wishes for yourself or others, holding the Venerable Master Hsing Yun here at the center of yourself as you make those wishes while we give the Pali blessing now. Dhammakaya.